We're here just outside our sawmill at the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula with one of our museum trustees and one of our resident sawmill operators, John Reimel. And John's going to be nice enough to talk to us a little bit about the sawmill today and about how we use it here at Forestry Day.
Thanks, Matt. The sawmill you see in the background came from the Deer Lodge Valley. It's representative of the sawmills that operated in western Montana and throughout the northern Rockies from the 1920s through the 60s. Not really a portable mill, but in many ways could be moved around as needed. It has a 48-inch circular saw blade. The log moves past the saw to cut lumber. There used to be a lot of mills in western Montana. We're down to only a few commercial mills now. And as Matt pointed out to me, I think when this sawmill's operating, it's the second largest mill in Missoula County right now. It's operated by the Society of American Foresters several times a year on events like this during Forestry Day, which is a cooperative venture between the University of Montana Woodsmen's team, the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula, and the Society of American Foresters. The mill's all operated by volunteers. The lumber that's cut from it goes to a variety of uses. Some of it used around the Historical Museum on projects. Some of it goes to some volunteers. And then some of the high schools use some for their woodshop projects. So we try to get good utilization out of the wood that's cut. Most of the wood is donated by local timber producers in the log form. And we make use of it, sawing it up for demonstration. Gives folks here in Missoula a chance to see an operational sawmill. We don't know the exact date of the mill, but it was probably manufactured sometime between the 20s or 30s. There are a lot of mills like this that are used on farms and ranches around the area still. Although the smaller production logs have gone mostly to using band mills now. And there's a band mill over there that's privately owned that's here used by one of the volunteers. And the thing about a band mill is it can get better utilization out of a small diameter log. Not so much goes to sawdust. This mill makes quite a bit of sawdust.
It's an American sawmill, American manufacturing company, probably around 100 years old. And you helped put it together with some of the supervisors of the logging industry. And you powered it with your 1908 steam engine and your 1916 steam engine. You had them both here, but at the same time operating by itself.
When I first got involved, the building was just got up, and they had piles of sawmill machinery here. And we brought in a portable sawmill and ran it with the 1545 engine that's sitting there now. And then a portable sawmill. And then we put this sawmill together. And I went around to the other sawmills and borrowed parts and put it together, of course. And then in 1995, I took out the small steam engine and put in the big one. And this is a 1916 steam engine. The other one is a 1908 steam engine. The sawmill was popular from the 1900s up to the 1930s, this sawmill. But that style was made back in the 1880s and on up.
It's all built from local parts that came originally?
This sawmill is all made out of parts that are scattered around the area, different sawmills.
And you got your
Most of it up Deer Lodge, Avon area.
experience working in sawmills. We're working for Mill Supply, which used to manufacture a lot of sawmill equipment. And where was that located?
Mill Supply is where the mall used to be, where the mall is now.
The Southgate Mall.
And they were involved in 140 sawmills. And my time there was 22 years total. I took off other jobs intermittently, but I worked on intermittently on 140 sawmills at one time.
So this sawmill is manufactured by American Sawmill Manufacturing, and we got quite a crew of volunteers that used to work in the industry, and some of them still do, and get to relive how it was done in the past. And some of us are now programming new sawmills to run 200 boards a minute, but here we're lucky if we get up to 200 boards a day on a volunteer basis
We
here.
get up to about 3,000 feet a day, which is typical for this sawmill. When I worked at Mill Supply, at the beginning they were running about 40,000 board feet a day for a small mill. And 22 years later they were at about 140,000 board feet a day. Big sawmills where they had 3 carriages or something like that, like Bend, Oregon, they would run 400,000 board feet a day.
And the big change was in the early 70s when you put the computer on those sawmill carriages, and that reduced a lot of waste.
In the middle 70s, they came up with the computer-operated sawmill carriages, hydraulic linear positioners, and they got 25% more lumber out of every log. I worked on helped install 40 of those sawmill carriages.
How many sawmills survived that didn't upgrade
Oh,
to the...
they still survived. Some of them cut lumber for other purposes where it didn't matter for accuracy. If you're cutting a railroad tie, precision doesn't matter. The difference between the manual and the computer, the sawmill carriage or manual operation runs about 25 thousandths of an inch, and the computer carriage run about 3,000 of an inch accuracy. That doesn't mean they thought it that accurate, but the machinery itself was accurate down to 3,000ths of an inch.
So do you remember switching from your 1908 steam engine to the 1916 engine, and why did you do that?
In 1995, I backed out the 1545 steam engine and had this one steamed up and drove it in 1995. I have a photo of both engines sitting right over there steamed up.
And nobody else saw it but you.
I'm the only one here. Nationwide, there's a lot more interest in steam engines than there used to be, especially in England. They're really going all out to get steam engines.
And I think because you preserved those in western Montana, we're getting a lot more interest here. And we get more steam engines coming, and hopefully we'll get more on display shortly.
We're a little bit unique here because Montana has very few steam engines compared to other states. I think to shut it down for a little bit. Save you a tax.
Sometimes I call this the original biofuels cogeneration unit. We take care of all the waste wood that comes off the sawmill. In this case, we get waste wood that comes from all the neighborhood projects. Running a little wet wood here today. But we also got an electric generator on it, and we can power electricity with it. We got 500 watts quartz light on it in case we need to run it at night. Works pretty good. Kids like the entertainment. Periodically during the day, we like to get a little better efficiency. out of the flues. So we got a flue brush, push any soot that comes from our green wood. Push it into the firebox, gets reburnt, or into the smoke box, where we get to clean it out later.
Okay, we're here at the annual Forestry Days Festival with Bruce and Andy Troutwine, and Bruce and Andy are resident steam tractor experts here at with the Historical Museum. Bruce is going to talk to us a little bit about the steam engine that we have that runs our sawmill, and then Andy's going to show us the steam engine behind it that actually belongs to him and tell us a little bit about how it works. So, guys?
So we got an 80 horsepower Case brand steam traction engine that was made by J.I. Case in 1916 that has been in Montana most of its life, and in about the early 90s came out to the Fort Missoula with my father, putting it together and running one of the original sawmills here with it. And it's powers our logs, and we're creating one of the highest producing sawmills left in Montana with the logs that we were cutting with it. And we're having a great time. More and more equipment is showing up out here at the museum, creating quite a logging display, a history of logging, and all the different types of equipment that was used for building the roads to producing the timber and the lumber that built western Montana. And actually before our engine, my father had this 45 horsepower Case engine that Andy can talk to you about.
This is a 1908 engine from also J.I. Case, 45 on the flywheel, 15 on the drawbar. I just restored this engine about this time last year, and it's state certified to be 100% safe in a public display. It's just a great educational tool for showing kids here at the museum. We can pull graders, run the mill. We also have a thresher in-house that is also a 100% working machine. Looking for grain to put in that one, I guess. The perfect educational tool for the history of Montana, how the Great Plains were plowed, how the roads were built, how the infrastructure actually became to be. And this is one of the main engines from Potomac Valley, which is about 15 minutes out of Missoula. It plowed and threshed that valley, and this is the only engine that was from Potomac originally. Still working in Missoula County. It probably will never leave, and it'll probably end up here at some point in time.
Originally came up to Missouri in 1908 and put on up to Fort Benton, put on a rail car and taken to Clinton, Montana, and then they steamed it up and towed the matching threshing machine up over the hill into the Potomac Valley with it.
From the Beaver Tail Flats into Potomac. The original thresher is still up there at
In
the
Potomac.
Hayes Ranch.
A lot of history with that one.
Yeah, a lot of local history with it.
A lot of history with a lot of this equipment that we got running around here. We've been having fun starting things up and dragging them around. Scott Keene, who's collected a lot of these stuff by donations to the museum, allows us to keep them fired up and working operating conditions. And
So let's give you a tour of the 1908 Case here. This is a simple, double simple engine, single acting. You see the steam is pushing the piston both directions. This boiler is full of water up into this sight glass area. We got some tricock to check the water level. You can see the water bounce there. This is a wood-fueled engine. There we have the fire. Just using scrap wood from the leftovers of the museum. 100% renewable. Got our makeup feed tank. This big flywheel is our main power takeoff. Just a massive gear train coming from that. You actually have these clutch shoes, and you have the main controls up on the console there, and that transfers the power down to the main wheels. About 1.5 miles is the top speed, 1.5 miles an hour. Chain steering, which is actually the first power steering. You never really physically steered it, you took up the slack, and as the wheels jostled back and forth, you just keep moving it around to that. We've got a couple steam whistles up here. As far as I know, that's the biggest whistle in the state that's operating. Here we got the access to the main heat exchanger of the engine. This engine uses exhaust steam from the engine to also create draft for a hotter fire. Here we have, this is called a fire tube engine, fire tube boiler. All your heat comes through those tubes and gets transferred to the water. So that's a fire screen, spark arrestor. That'll catch all the big embers before they actually go out and set off the straw field. That up there is the governor. That regulates the engine speed for 250 RPM. And that's where the expression "running balls out" came from, is when that reaches the speed, those balls fly out and actually shut the throttle. And as you use more load, they'll close back in, centrifugal force, and it'll open up the steam valve again, allow it to rev back up. So this is a 1908 15 horsepower case. And this is one of the smaller engines. There's several larger. This is one of the older of the generation of engines. This one's a 15. The other one at the museum here is an 80 horsepower, which is belt PTO horsepower is how they measured that engine. These are before, and this is on the 15 horsepower is the drawbar horsepower. You can see J.I. Case Threshing Machine Company, Racine, Wisconsin.
Okay, Scott Keene is here with us, and
Hello.
Scott is the historical chairperson of the Society of American Foresters Missoula chapter. And Scott is also one of our founding members, or founders of our Forestry Day here at Fort Missoula.
Yep.
Scott, can you tell us a little bit about how it came about?
Okay. Well, the Forestry Interpret Area started in the early 1980s by the Society of American Foresters. Basically, we got together trying to keep the history alive. A lot of that was the old Champion and Anaconda people that really got it started. I took over in about 1990, and we've tried to continue to build the new exhibits. We've done add-ons to the buildings. We've got dozens of more pieces of equipment. And in 1994, we brought the University of Montana Woodsmen team arena here. It used to be close to campus. As they started expanding a lot of their student housing, they ran out of rooms. They moved them out here. We've been here since 1994. A couple years later, we said, okay, we need to do something. We have this world-class arena. How are we going to use it? So we decided to promote Forestry Day. Forestry Day is basically taking a look, using what we have here on the campus of all the historic buildings, the sawmill, the lookout, but also doing a Pro-Am logging show. So the University of Montana Woodsmen team actually has been in existence since 1978, and I've helped out every show since then. But in 1996 is when we started the Pro-Am. This is our 20th year, and we combine colleges from all over the Northwest. They come in, plus the pros. The same pros you see on ESPN are here this weekend. They compete in separate events, but we combine them during the day so that the college will compete against the college and the pros against the pros, but intermixed throughout the day. We use this as a learning experience. The pros help teach the college kids, and a lot of the college kids, like myself, went through the college ranks and got pretty good, decided to turn pro. When I turned pro, I competed for about 20 years. One of my best events was the hot saw, souped up chainsaws. Mine was a YZ400 Yamaha motorcycle. And in 1980, I broke the world's record and held that for almost 20 years. And since then, I quit competing. I just help out with the show. And last weekend in April has been our Forestry Day for the last 20 years. Well, I hope you're having fun at the 20th annual Forestry Day. We started this in 1996. A fellow named Garrett Grothan helped me build this. Unfortunately, we lost Garrett a few years later in an avalanche, and that's why we dedicated the arena to Garrett. Hope you're having fun. Enjoy your day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move into the first heat of the pro pole climb. Climbing on pole number 1, Nick Hall. And climbing on pole number 2, Clay Stevenson. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go. All right, we are getting ready for the next heat of the pro pole climb. Climbing on pole number 1, Aaron Lavoy. Climbing on pole number 2, Eric Hoberg. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
I didn't realize that was
Going to move into the first heat of the collegiate women's vertical hard hit chop. Chopping on stand number 2 from Northern Arizona University, Natalie Wilson. Chopping on stand number 3 from the University of Montana, Sophia Stein. Chopping on stand number 4 from Humboldt State University, Jamie Yee. And on stand number 5 from Flathead Valley Community College, Erin McGowan. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
Way guy, that's good.
Natalie, you got it!
Come on, Natalie! Got it!
30 seconds left.
One more! One more!
And for the final heat of the collegiate women's vertical hard hit chop, on stand number 1 from the University of Montana, Beatrice Powers. On stand number 2 from Northern Arizona University, Carissa Kamenson. And on stand number 3 from the University of Montana, Amber All. Go. Yeah, Pat. 'And just a reminder to all pro underhand choppers, please be getting your blocks set and moved into the arena, please. Chopping in the first heat, Rick Klein, Seth Bergman, David Green, and Derek Pouchnick. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2,
go. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
Just like that, Nick. Come on, Nick.
Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go. Up now in the pro springboard chop. Chopping on stand number 1, Derek Pouchnick. Chopping on stand number 2, David Green. And chopping on stand number 3, Seth Bergman. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go. Could we please be getting the arena set for the cookie stack? Please be getting the arena set for the cookie stack. Thank you. Full of water.
and place them on this little table here. So it's a timed event, and plus you have to keep the mug from not spilling. So sort of unique event here at Forestry Days. Actually, a lot of this is not the speed of the saw, it's a lot of technique. So timers, this is a timed event. So basically it starts on go when all 3 cookies plus the mug are placed on the table. Time stops.
And again in the first heat of the cookie stack, on stand number 1, Alvy Marcellus. On stand number 2, Emily Grotbo. On stand number 3, Clay Stevenson. Leo Kudrow on stand number 4, and Gordy Mall on stand 5. And for all competitors in the cookie stack, before each event starts, the saw must be idling on the block.
Fire your saws!
Fire up your saw. All right, in this heat of the cookie stack, Eiler Adams, David Moses Jr., Eric Hoberg, and Seth and Lauren Bergman.
Start the saws!
Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
There you go. Get it centered.
For the cookie stack. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
Putting that thing right off it.
Tough sledding for Scott there. All right, up next in the 4th heat of the cookie stack, on stand number 2, Reba Van Bussicum. On stand number 3, Tyler Long.
Cookies are nice and stacked. Get those cookies lined up.
Sawing now is the 1st heat of the collegiate Jack and Jill. Sam Dilatoso and Carissa Kamenson on log A. Chad Hyatt and Kate Page on log B. Robert Muma and Evelyn Murphy on log C, and Zach Plott with Alicia Streetman on log D. Here we go for the first heat of the Collegiate Jack and Jill. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go. Timers ready. Contestants ready. 1, 2, go.
I'm Matt Lotzenez. I'm the executive director here at the Historical Museum. And Forestry Day is just one of the many special events we do at the Historical Museum. And we do these because it raises public awareness of the great history we have here in western Montana. Perhaps none of our special events really answer that and teach that public history and the living history, frankly, better than Forestry Day. We have an operating sawmill, which is the second largest sawmill in Missoula County when it's up and running. We have our Forestry Day competition, which really raises awareness of that logging history that's so crucial to understanding western Montana's history. Here, in addition to the Forestry Day, we operate about 32 acres, and we have a number of historic structures. In fact, over 19 historic structures here on our grounds. As part of Forestry Day, we open up many of those structures, and we have living history interpreters, and we have kids activities. Kids actually get a chance to play some of the games that replicate or is very similar to what they're doing out here in the competition arena. Of course, this event wouldn't happen without the many great volunteers and without our partners we have at the Historical Museum. The Society of American Foresters, the Missoula chapter, all of our wonderful steam engine guys, as well as the guys that come out every year and operate the sawmill. It really is a group effort and a team effort, and it's something that really helps our community and helps to continue to honor that rich history of logging here. So we hope that you can come out and enjoy our Forestry Day here at Fort Missoula. Thanks.
On log G, Francis Bonet and David Moses Jr. And on log H, Clay Stevenson and Emily Bracco. On deck will be the third heat of the Collegiate Jack.